as it stands, we're meant to start back. I think I'm okay to say this next month. So.
How's it going, my fellow Titans? Welcome back to a brand new Titans video. Now, this is an update video for Season 3, and I haven't made one in quite a while. It feels great, and honestly, we've actually got quite a little bit to talk about today. So honestly, this video is definitely worth sticking around for, because we've got some insight into what will be shown at DC Fandome, or should I say discussed about. There's the overall future with Titans, you know, just in new seasons going to HBO Max, and a few other tidbits that you guys would definitely want to stick around for. So as you just saw at the beginning of this video, hopefully, that video from Anna Diop, I'm sorry if I butchered her name, she thinks, or, you know, at least as of where she's aware, Titans is filming as of next month, which would be September. Obviously, this is subject to change, of course. This is probably what she's heard. Obviously, she was like, well, I don't know if I can properly share this. As I said, this isn't concrete. For now, just assume, but also take it with a grain of salt, even though Anna said it herself, that it will be filming next month, and I think that's perfectly plausible, but, you know, don't get carried away, it could still change. It's probably just what she's heard from the rumor mill around set that, hey, yeah, I think we might be, you know, shooting next month, hopefully, if all goes well and all goes according to plan. But before we get into anything else, guys, and all those beautiful details in this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds of your time. Other than that, there's a Discord server you can join and talk about Titans Season 3 with me, yourself, and especially maybe you want to do that after DC Fandome, which we will be getting into in this video. I have learned some of the details that they're apparently going to be speaking about at DC Fandome. And hey guys, if you're a fan of the channel, may as well do one more plug. I have come up with a design, thanks to Smart Sheep in my Discord server, for my very own Boba baseball cap. So if any of you want to check that out, as usual, top pin comment, all the links I just mentioned are in that. So first on the roster of Titans Season 3 updates. For the longest time, people have been speculating about DC Universe, its future. People were saying it's been doomed from just the get-go, but, you know, it's been interesting because it did stick around for a good couple of years. But now, finally, you may have heard this already, but I haven't actually spoken about it yet. We have confirmation that the existing DC content, or originals on DC Universe, should I say, will indeed be moving to HBO Max. Now, this is a direct quote from Jim Lee. The original content that is on DC Universe is migrating to HBO Max. Truthfully, that's the best platform for that content. The amount of content you get, not just DC, but generally from Warner Media, is huge, and it's the best value proposition. If I'm allowed to use that marketing term, we feel that is the place for that. So hey, you may have heard this before, as I said, or you may be hearing this for the first time, but you also may, if that's the case, you know, learning it for the first time, may not be surprised by that. I don't think any of us are really, because with, you know, the whole AT&T, Warner Media, and all that kind of stuff in the background, all the way going back to Swamp Thing stuff, you know, this has been a long time coming, especially with HBO Max adopting, you know, the series slowly throughout the past few months. We've been getting shows going alongside on there, such as Doom Patrol, and, you know, it just does make sense. You know, DC Universe, who knows really what the ultimate future of that is. It is said for now, I believe, that it's just remaining as like this comic book thing, and all the originals, as we just went over, are going to HBO Max. As for what this means, don't worry about it. Like, HBO Max, well, they're the very helm of the DC TV next evolution of shows, if that makes sense. Don't forget, they're bringing out Strange Adventures, the Lantern series, a whole bunch more, plus they're maintaining existing shows. There's some that are yet to be confirmed. This doesn't necessarily confirm a Titan Season 4, technically, or a Doom Patrol Season 3, but it does give me hope for Doom Patrol, even though this is kind of unrelated, because they say the original content that is on DC Universe is migrating to HBO Max. So don't worry about production budget or anything like that. It will remain the same. But as of Titan Season 3, will that be airing on DC Universe or HBO Max or both? I'm more inclined to believe that it will just actually be HBO Max, because I'm thinking that Titans, I could be wrong about this is just pure speculation, but if it does actually start filming next month, September, here, I'm estimating a release date of a similar time to when Stargirl Season 1 released on DC Universe, which I believe was May 19th. So we could... I'm thinking intuitively that Titan Season 3 Episode 1 could air late May or possibly early June. But that is at the earliest, and if we're lucky, in my opinion. So that's that portion out of the way. Now let's talk about some of the DC fandom stuff. Don't worry, we're not getting into the DC Titan Season 3 fandom reveal stuff just yet. This is just the description, just in case you weren't aware of it. I wanted to read that out because you never know. Good, we could talk about it. So Titans are back, bitches. That phrase kicked off an explosive second season of Titans that culminated with the long-awaited emergence of Nightwing as their leader and the tragic death of one of their own. And as a new mysterious threat looms, Season 3 promises to be the biggest yet. And then they just go and say, join executive producer Greg Walker and a series stars Brenton Thwaites, blah, 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 where they'll be discussing the new season as well as a discussion on the top Titans moments of the first 2 seasons. And that's what the panel will consist of. So stick around if you want to know the details of that. As I said, and what the source says, of who I will mention in just a second, it's kind of stuff we already know already, so don't be paranoid going in. It's really stuff that if you're in the Titans fan community, you're aware of stuff online, you're fairly competent in just, comic book-ish news, then you've probably heard about it. So yeah, I honestly wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't really mention anything majorly plot-breaking, spoilery ever. I don't want to do that to fans, but this has been out there for quite a time, so this has the Boba stamp of approval if you want to go in with, just a bit of caution. So it's actually been out there for quite some time, and I didn't want to make a video on this because I wanted to wait for something official. And even though I'm technically not waiting for something official just yet, even though this does pertain to what DC Fandom will show, which is official, I'm talking about Red Hood. For the past few months, I believe the article has been out there, maybe a couple of months. People were saying, Boba, you're going to make a Red Hood video, and the interesting thing is, I've known this for quite some time. Obviously, I do still take things with a grain of salt, but I do have sources of my own, and I've heard that Red Hood would be coming to Season 3 for quite some time, and it's just interesting. It really is interesting because even in Season 1, go back and watch my reviews when I've talked about Red Hood. Some people were speculating when Season 2 came out, will Jason become Red Hood? I've never thought that. I didn't know way back then, about the Red Hood thing and when he will be coming, but I've always said, in my mind, if I was making these creative decisions, some people still feel as though Season 3 is too early for Red Hood, but I've always said, way back in Season 1, Season 3 would be the time to do Jason Todd's transition into that character, with whatever iteration they'll do that in. Now, you may have heard me reference Fullian or Villian. There was one time he told me how to pronounce his name. I do apologize if you're watching this, Fullian. But yeah, he's kind of known in the Titans community. Some of you may already follow him on Twitter or something like that. He had some tidbits for us because he's found out a few things about the panel at DC Fandom, which does actually pertain to the official description, which is interesting. So, as always, take this with a grain of salt. It's not mega surprising because I do expect this for other panels such as Doom Patrol. They're not going to give us major information about the following seasons. It will be more breadcrumbs and just things we know already. But even so, take it with a grain of salt. One of the things I can definitely vouch for, and that's the Red Hood thing, because I have heard that myself from a whole other source who is, can't get into it, but they have been correct on many things before and, proven identity and things like that. So what I'm trying to say is that this does sound realistic as well from what I'm reading, from what Villian has to say. So, as per the official description from DC Fandom, this website itself, Villian does say that, in his opinion, the panel is kind of disappointing because it's just mainly the cast talking about the top moments in the show from Season 1 and Season 2. He goes on to say a month or so ago, DC Universe set up a poll on their website to ask fans, what their favorite moments of the show was, and that will be discussed at Fandom. So, makes sense so far, right? Now, he goes on to say Dick will be talked about a lot across the panel, Dick's journey from the Flying Graysons to Robin to Nightwing. That's not really, it's not really surprising since Dick Grayson has been the core character of the show, but skipping through some of the stuff that is very, very typical to what they will be officially showing us or talking about, as per what they've described themselves. themselves, so, that really isn't surprising. He says one thing about the panel that I think a lot of people might like is the Red Hood announcement. In this panel, they will be confirming that Red Hood will join the show, with Jason Todd finally undergoing his transformation into Red Hood. He says, I have heard that Titans' take on Red Hood is similar to that of Batman Arkham Knight's video game. I've heard from a friend who has a source close to the production of Titans that there will also be a time jump in season 3. This time jump will happen around midway throughout the season. It's likely that this time jump has something to do with Jason's storyline, so that, maybe he dies, they do a time skip, and then maybe he comes back. Who knows? And that's what Villian said about Red Hood, and he just goes on to finish the article saying they will also share some other smaller details about Titans Season 3 at the panel, but it's not much. We already know most of it, and it's not really anything to get excited about. The Red Hood announcement is honestly the biggest thing at the Titans panel at DC Fandome. Now, none of this is surprising, really. There's been articles about Red Hood coming to Titans Season 3 for the past 2 months. As I said, you guys have been kind of hounding me a bit to make videos on it. I wanted to wait until this announcement, but now this is kind of coming out beforehand about the panel. It's not surprising. If you've been looking at Curran Waters' Instagram, he's been saying this could be anything, obviously, but intuitively I'm thinking it's linked. He's been having stories or Instagram posts saying like a selfie and the caption being like, news soon, keep you posted. I'm pretty sure he's kind of subtly teasing, even though there's no tangible Red Hood link to that. I think he's teasing like, guys, get ready, because what you want, or what some of you have wanted for some time, is coming. So once again, I'm not trying to pretend this is some major breaking news. It is, take it with a grain of salt still, although I honestly do believe this. I believe the Fandome panel stuff. It's literally listed on the DC Fandome website that they will be talking about the top moments. So I think most of that 30-minute panel will literally be about reminiscing. And then maybe the last 5 minutes will be tidbits about season 3, with maybe Curran Waters himself saying, or maybe Greg Walker just saying, hey, bitches, Red Hood is coming, we're finally doing it. It's so obvious. I could be wrong. I'll hold my hands up, but I think you guys can kind of gauge that this is going to happen. Now, interestingly, I do have a video about, how could Red Hood come to Titan Season 3, because lo and behold, I made a video that long ago because it's kind of obvious that it was going to happen. Now, as for how exactly it's going to go down, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. One thing that we know DC TV shows can't exactly do is show the Joker front center in the camera lens. It doesn't mean they won't use the Joker. It just might be, if they do, kill Jason Todd through the cliche way of the typical crowbar, it might be done in an interesting way that they have to deal with some of the limitations. So it might be, in Titan Season 1's finale, we did get slight shots of the Joker. It could be done in an ominous kind of silhouette-y way like that. That's something I've echoed throughout this whole time. It's something they could probably get away with, especially with something that doesn't have to be shown so deliberately. They could definitely get around it. We might not even see it until Jason Todd is revealed as the Red Hood. It could be done in flashbacks, ominously showing Jason getting beaten up as he's tied up or tied to a chair. That kind of vibe. I'm very confident about Red Hood coming to season 3, but exactly how they're going to do it is going to be a very interesting way. Now, Villian says himself, as you guys know already from this video, that they might be following an Arkham Knight video game similar route, which is interesting. The time jump is interesting, and I'm just going to leave it there in terms of speculation, because we could get into this forever. And I also have some little extra tidbit details that Villian shared with me as well. As usual, take this with a grain of salt, but once again, it is similar stuff to what I have heard as well, and also it just, it really isn't surprising. So, number 1, heard about someone getting written out of the show, but I don't know who. That is very interesting. Dick is going to be very Spider-Man-like in fight scenes. That is very interesting as well, but not surprising, because don't forget the very lines that guy said, the suit tailor said about the new armor and how he would be a lot more utilizing his acrobatic skills. So, seeing Nightwing in season 3 should be very, like Spider-Man, so not surprising. Hank and Dawn will have less scenes in season 3. Well, that is going to be bad news for some, but very good news for others. For me, I love Hank and Dawn. They were my favorite characters in season 1. I do admit in season 2, their story just wasn't the best. I don't have anything inherently against those characters in season 2. It's just, I felt like it could have been handled better. In season 1, some of those episodes were just incredible. It's like, Hank and Dawn, or was it Hawk and Dove episode 2? It's slipping my mind right now, but I'm sure you Hawk and Dove fans know what I mean by that. But in season 2, it was just a bit, I don't know, it wasn't handled the best way. So it's interesting that they may indeed have less scenes in season 3. And then, of course, the time jump thing, and that is it for the tidbit details. So as for the other thing I want to speculate about very briefly, who could get written out of the show? Well, you could argue maybe that is Hank and Dawn. If they have less scenes in season 3, this could be their kind of little pavement out of there. I really hope not. I do feel like if Titans was just handled a bit more cohesively, rather, I love Titans, I really do, but I can't deny some of the jarring issues and a bit of some of the disjointed storyline at times in season 2 that was present. So, I do have faith that they can be kept around. As for other characters, well, we have Beast Boy, Raven, Troya is yet to return in season 3. That's going to be interesting, especially as she's at the panel. I really hope they say something about her as well. I have absolutely no idea about that. Who else do we have? Connor. I don't think that's going to happen. Who knows? As I said, these are to be taken with a grain of salt. I can't guarantee or confirm any of these aforementioned points that we've just been over, but other than the Red Hood, which, I think you'll know is coming. So I think that's the major gist of this video, guys. I just wanted to give you a massive wrap kind of update on Titan season 3. Obviously, we'll be hearing more at DC Fandome. All what I'm going to say about DC Fandome is, especially as they haven't even shot anything yet, there's a few scripts already out there. They obviously know where the story's going, but just don't get overhyped about it. Obviously, if you're a diehard fan, then you're just going to enjoy these top Titans moments and the cast and the showrunner talking about it anyway. I'm not flacking that at all. It's going to be a great time. But if you're just there for the tangible, juicy Titan season 3 stuff, you'll still get that with a massive Red Hood announcement, but it's kind of low-key. The whole internet knows about it already. But who knows? There may be a few other details, but just don't get or expect massive things. I'll tell you one thing. One suggestion I have for DC Fandome to really make the Red Hood thing sell, I think they should reveal the Red Hood suit. Because since it's already out there, it's been out there for like 2 months, the community, those who go on Reddit or those who really take the extra step to get involved in the discussion, definitely know about this, especially probably you guys watching this video, the vast majority of you. So one way to make sure those people are very impressed too, and not like, oh, we knew this already, is to reveal a freaking badass suit. And we all know how good the super suits, the DC Universe suits are. So can you imagine Red Hood? Wow. But then again, that is wishful thinking that they'll actually reveal it before the very episode he airs in season 3. Oh, and I should have mentioned this earlier, and I really hope a lot of you stuck around to just hear this, just because it's connecting some dots. If what Villian says is true about a time jump at some point in time in season 3, well, this just kind of goes hand in hand with the actual synopsis, with it literally saying, and as a new mysterious threat looms, season 3 promises to be its biggest season yet. Well, if Jason dies in the early season, there's a low-key little bit of a time jump, and then a new mysterious threat looms, on top of Blackfire, then, hey, it could be the mysterious Red Hood of whom they don't know the identity of because they assume Jason Todd is dead. Let me know what you think about that theory. But that is absolutely everything for this video, guys, so thank you so much for watching. It feels great making some Titans content. Obviously, stick around and stay subscribed to the channel for a shite ton of videos coming out of DC Fandome. You're gonna have to bear with me because I can't just pump everything out at once, so just make sure you know that I will be pumping out videos covering a lot of the major stuff you would typically expect to find on this channel coming out of Fandome, but just know it's gonna be coming out slowly but surely. Like this video, especially if you got this far. Join my Discord server and other links down in the top pinned comment, as you kind of heard earlier. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you Titans in the next video. Goodbye.